Kayla Norton. A Georgia judge has sentenced Kayla Norton and Jose Joe Torres to spend about 19 years in prison for playing a role in a group's racist rampage at an 8-year-old's birthday party. This assault included shouting racial slurs, making armed threats, and waving Confederate battle flags.
This is a child's birthday party.
Look at this shit. We'll see y'all again.
After telling the court that Norton accepts the responsibility for her actions, she then turned to the area of the courtroom where the families who attended the birthday party were sitting. The two, who are not married, have 3 children together. The prosecutor said that they were part of a gang of white supremacists who targeted African Americans with racial taunts and also threatened to murder minorities. The guilty sat hunched over and crying after Superior Court Judge William Bo McLean handed down his sentence: 13 years in prison, 7 years probation for Torres, as well as 6 years in prison with about 9 years probation for Norton.
But I do accept the responsibility for what I've done. I know I was in the wrong. But I want you all to know that that is not me. That is not me. That's not him. I would never walk up to you and say those words to you, and I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Also, both of them are banished from Douglas County. Moreover, the sentencing comes weeks after a jury found Torres and Norton guilty of making terroristic threats and violating the Georgia Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act. Also, the judge convinced Torres of aggravated assault, although Georgia doesn't have a law specifying a hate crime. That's the term both McLean and District Attorney Brian Fortner used to describe the group's behavior. Diana Lovejoy. Diana Lovejoy was charged with an attempt to murder her husband on November 13, 2017. But luckily, the bullet did not pass through the heart when Diana shot him in the torso. The court ordered Lovejoy to share the custody of her son with a monthly $100 for her child support. Lovejoy could not give this amount, so she decided to kill Greg with the assistance of her gun instructor, who was her boyfriend named Weldon McDavid Jr. He served in the Marine Corps for 12 years and trained Diana in some shooting skills. He even installed the security system in Lovejoy's home. Greg, along with his friend, were once walking on the dirt road to Avenida Soledade. Greg had survived the gunshot from McDavid as the bullet could not damage the heart from the torso. Greg's friend told the police about the incident when Greg was taken to the hospital. He also told them it was 11 p.m. when they walked down the street when the gunshot happened. Moreover, the police wanted to know what could be the reason for Greg being shot. Later on, after some investigation, the police found that Greg was in the middle of a court case related to his divorce as well as his son's custody. The police asked why the late-night walk on the street, so Jason told them that Greg received a call from an investigator stating that he had grabbed some evidence and would give Greg one chance to get a glimpse of it, just once. Moreover, Jason said that Greg told him about the call and seemed concerned, so he asked him to join him. Both were on their way to check on the evidence, however, a brutal incident happened with Greg. The reports that came out in the court that Diana Lovejoy forced McDavid to tell her that her husband abused her sexually as well as molested her son. Later, it was discovered that he was given $2,000 to say this in court. Michelle Blair. Michelle Blair was sent to prison for killing her children and hiding their bodies in a freezer at their Detroit home. Blair is serving 2 life sentences for the crime she committed, and now, even more prison time has been tacked on after Blair pled guilty to 2 counts of assaulting a prison employee. Michelle Blair received around 38 months to 5 years in prison for each account, to be served concurrently with each other, however consecutively to the life sentences. Blair has been in jail since the gruesome discovery at her home in March 2015. The court officers carrying out an eviction at the family's home on Detroit's east side found the children's frozen bodies, which were covered in plastic in a deep freezer. She was then charged with 2 counts of felony murder, premeditated murder, and torture in the deaths of Stoney Ann Blair along with Stephen Gage Berry. The investigators believe Stephen was 9 when he died in August 2012, and Stoney was 13 when she died the following May. She later admitted to the horrific crimes, claiming she attacked the children months apart in 2012 and 2013.
That she did that to him, but I repeatedly punched her. On many occasions, my son, I told him to tell me every single thing she did to him. So as he was telling me more and more things that she did. I assaulted her every time he told me what she did to him.
She also said that the children had sexually abused a sibling, though she said she didn't witness the alleged assaults and didn't get the police involved because she feared losing her other children. Blair said that she intended to kill Stoney, but didn't know that the abuse of her son would be fatal. Also, during a custody hearing in June 2015, Blair made an emotional outburst before she was forcibly removed from the courtroom. She then was escorted out of the room briefly before being allowed back in. The hearing for a trial to settle her parental rights to her surviving children. The judge later decided there was enough basis for terminating Blair's parental rights to the children, age 8 and 17 at the time. At the hearing, it was not the first courtroom outburst from Blair. She had to be removed from the court in 2015 after she yelled at the father of one of her living children during a parental rights termination hearing. Erica Mae Butts and Shanita Latrice Cunningham. Erica Mae Butts and Shanita Latrice Cunningham each received a life sentence from a Charleston judge 2 years to the day after a 3-year-old girl named Serenity Richardson died under their care.
Each be sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of life. You will get credit for any of the time that you...
The assistant managing solicitor for Charleston County, Elizabeth Gordon, stated, "It is impossible for words to accurately describe what these women did to this poor girl. They beat the child repeatedly with a belt and plastic coat hangers." Gordon said that you could see the outlines of the strikes on the body. She also said that there was not one area on the child's body that was unharmed except for the soles of her feet. Serenity was visiting her godmother, who is her mother's best friend, along with Cunningham, who was Butt's lover, and for 2 weeks at their home in Summerville, South Carolina, when the abuse occurred. When Serenity became unresponsive in 2009, Gordon said, they put bleach under her nose, as well as they put ice on her to try to revive her. Butts called her own mother and called 911. When the medics arrived, the child had been dead for some time. She said that this was the worst case she had seen in 4 years of prosecuting crimes against special victims. In most of the homicide by child abuse cases, somebody made a bad decision one day. Cunningham and Butts decided every day they were going to beat that child. Elizabeth Escalona. Elizabeth Escalona, a mother from Dallas, got sentenced to 99 years in prison for beating her 2-year-old daughter and also gluing the child's hands to the wall. The mother faced from probation to life in prison, with prosecutors seeking almost 45 years behind bars. Also, a state district judge decided her sentence. Police said that Escalona attacked 2-year-old Jocelyn Cedillo because of her potty training problems. The 23-year-old mother pleaded guilty in July to felony injury to her child.
You savagely beat your child to the edge of death. For this you must be punished. Please stand.
The police record showed how Escalona's other children told the authorities that she kicked her daughter in the stomach and also hit her with a jug one time in 2011. They stated that Escalona glued Jocelyn's hands to the wall with a strong adhesive like superglue. Jocelyn suffered bleeding in her brain and multiple bruises and was in a coma for a couple of days. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments section down below. If you found today's video interesting, then be sure to give us a thumbs up. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to always be up to date with the most exciting content as soon as it's uploaded. Thanks for watching. See you again soon in another video.